I don't know who let Craig Breslow cook the way he's cooking right now, but my God, keep this man in the kitchen. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and we are back with another live reaction because earlier this week, we had our live reaction to Garrett Crochet being extended and staying with the Red Sox for a very long period of time. And we were like, okay, that's great. Hell yeah, this is fantastic. But what about everybody else, right? Is there anything else coming down the line? And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, Craig Breslow had something else coming down the line. It's something we've heard might have been coming for a pretty long period of time now. Now it is officially in writing, and I got to tell you, it's absolutely glorious. It is an extension of one of the game's top prospects. He's going to be here on the Red Sox for a very long period of time. So what we're doing is we are breaking this thing down. We're giving our full reaction to the contract and what it means for this Red Sox team. Don't forget, we are going to be live tonight, 6:20 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be watching the game together, dissecting all these contract extensions and what next for the Boston Red Sox. Okay, so for those of you who are new here, every time a big signing happens, I get onto the camera as soon as humanly possible. I give my just pure raw reaction. No detail-oriented stuff, just pure reactiveness to this news. And the news we're reacting to today is that the Boston Red Sox had signed an 8-year contract with Kristian Campbell. Now, I know a lot of people, including myself, were a little bit nervous about this philosophy, right? We've heard basically the entire offseason, especially coming into camp, just how much the Red Sox were wanting to talk extensions with guys like Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and Kristian Campbell. Now, my mindset in all of that continuously had been, okay, it's really early on, right? One prove-it year in Major League Baseball just to say, look, he belongs here, to me was always a pretty good philosophy. So in order for the Red Sox to do something like this and me feel truly comfortable with it, not that they really value my opinion or anything, but just in my own mind, it always had to be kind of the perfect deal, right? It had to be really good for both sides. I got to tell you, this Kristian Campbell contract feels really good for both sides. Specifically, it feels really good for the Boston Red Sox because the details of this contract is it's an 8-year deal worth $60 million. That's it. Right, the Boston Red Sox locked this dude up for less than $10 million a year over the next 8 years. So not only did they buy out his arbitration, because we've seen arbitrations get kind of messy with really good players, not only did they do that, they bought out 2 years of his free agency as well. They said, hey, look, we want you here for a long period of time. Campbell said, cool, I want to be in the major leagues for a long period of time. The Red Sox said, look, we want to get you cost effectively. Campbell said, cool, I'll be cost effectively. I'm still making $70 million or $60 million. Now, we don't have the entire true details of this contract just yet. So my assumption is there's some incentives built into this deal. But on paper, $60 million for 8 years of what Kristian Campbell could be, right? If you take a look at his ceiling, is absolutely fantastic. And even if you look at his floor, right? Just a solid everyday defender with a little bit of pop at the plate and a good eye, that's an absolute steal. That's an absolute bargain. But this contract keeps getting even better when you continue to take a look at the intricate details of it, because on top of it just having an 8-year, $60 million minimum here, it also has 2 club options. That's right. The Boston Red Sox could end up, if they so choose, with Kristian Campbell in their organization for the next decade. That's unbelievable for the Red Sox to get 2 club options at the end of this contract. Now, the club options are legitimately a little bit pricey. Still, in 8-10 years, I don't know how pricey this is even going to be. The first one is in 2033 at $19 million, and the second one is in 2034 for $21 million. That would take the entire guarantee of the contract up to $100 million for 10 years. You're still talking about, even with the $19 million and the $21 million over the last 2 years of that contract, still just $10 million on average a season for a guy like Kristian Campbell. You may be wondering, how does this kind of split up, right? How do you get $60 million total for 8 seasons? And we actually do have that information with us. The actual full breakdown of the deal is it starts with a $2 million bonus. So right off the bat, he made $2 million just putting his name on that paper. In 2025, it's just $1 million. 26 is $2 million. 27 is 3. 28 is 4. 29, we're now what? 5 years into this contract. He's at $6 million. Then he gets to 9 in 2030. Then 2031 and 2032, he finally enters the double-digit million range, right? 31, 13, 32, $16 million. This is unbelievable to me. I can't believe he signed this deal, if I'm being totally honest. If Kristian Campbell builds up to his potential and is the guy that the Red Sox believe him to be, right? The guy they put all this confidence in spring training, he's going to be worth double that by the time he gets to even close to free agency, right? This would put him entering free agency at 32 years old. So even with the idea of him being here for a decade, you're still getting every single one of his statistical prime years as well. The Red Sox absolutely crushed this deal to me. Again, you go back to before the season started, you said, okay, I don't hate the idea of locking these guys up. It just needs to be on absolutely great contract options for the Red Sox. This is, I think, exactly what you're talking about, right? Because he made his $3 million from signing the thing, and 25 with the $1 million, and the bonus being $2 million. And then for the Red Sox, you gotta just forget about it for the next decade, right? You don't have to worry about how this is going to impact the CBT, because for the most part, up until 2031, you're paying him less than $10 million a year. So you never really have to worry about that for the next 6 years. Then you also have the talent on the field for the next 8 years minimum, 10 years, if you so choose. Hey, you want to throw another year in there? Go ahead. You can have 9, right? Okay. Then you buy him out and he's got a $4 million buyout and he's a free agent. You got 8 years of prime Kristian Campbell. I absolutely love this contract on paper for the Red Sox. I don't know who set it up. Was it Breslow? I don't know. John Henry, I got to give him props. We got to give John Henry props, right? For how long we have crushed John Henry on this channel. Videos about him not spending, videos about him not caring. He's showing with his dollars that he does care about this team winning, not just now, over the next few seasons as well. And that's all we wanted, right? That's all we've wanted as Red Sox fans for a long period of time, to see Bregman at the beginning of spring training, to see Crochet just a couple of days ago, and then to shell out this money as well a couple of days later to an up-and-coming prospect is absolutely fantastic. But enough with the Red Sox glazing. I think I'm going to continue to glaze without this video without meaning to, but let's talk about what this means for the actual team itself. This can only really be positive for the Red Sox, right? Because you have to take the monetary considerations into this. If he's only making $4 million in 28 and he is a replacement level player, let's say he's a 1.5, 2 WAR guy, he ends up being a bench versatility player, that's still not a lot of money to spend on a guy like that, right? If he is going to be a type of player where he's going to be 2, 3, once in a while he's got a 4 WAR season, this is an absolute steal in my opinion. So this could really only mean good things for the Red Sox. But one thing I want to talk about with these extensions that have been coming out of basically thin air, considering there was nothing coming into opening day here, is what this means for the future of the Red Sox. Because not only does it mean that you have this growing core of just incredible talent you're adding, right? Now you've got Bayo, Cedon, Crochet, Campbell, and Rafael Devers. That's a pretty solid group of players to try and build around to create either a dynasty or just simply win a World Series at some point. Hey, let's start with getting in the playoffs first, right? But not only do you have that, you also become incredibly more appealing to outside players, right? The guys that you want to bring in to this team to supplement those players. We talked about it a lot this offseason. With Soto, with Bregman, ultimately at the end of the day, money made the difference. But when you're splitting hairs monetarily, why did these guys choose to go where they went? Well, a big part of that was who are they going to be playing with for the duration of their contract. For the Red Sox, it was a little bit of a mystery. Yes, you had an idea. Yes, there were some guys locked up, but a lot of the guys were either unproven or they weren't under any sort of long-term contracts. While they're still an unproven team until they actually win, they now have that sort of solidified base that a free agent, especially really good free agents like Soto, like Bregman, and like Burns, who did the same thing this offseason, you can now sit there and they could say, what is my tenure with the Red Sox going to look like? Well, you're going to be surrounded for sure the entirety of your duration by guys like the names that we listed off, right? That makes you look a whole lot more appealing to a whole lot more talent on the open market. And that is absolutely fantastic. Now, we have no idea what Kristian Campbell is going to end up looking like. We just simply don't. He could end up being an absolute superstar in Major League Baseball. He's certainly starting off like one, but it's only been 5 days. Using those 5 days, like we talk about when we talk about negatively for players, those 5 days don't really indicate what Kristian Campbell's going to be. He's just off to a really good start. But if the talent that had been scouted for years, that had been the reason why he shot up the prospect rankings in incredible lightning speed time, is any indication as to what he could be a game changer for the Red Sox. One of the other things I wanted to mention with this contract extension is that right now he's a second baseman. He could potentially move off in the future, but right now he's a second baseman of this Red Sox team. When was the last time the Red Sox had a truly solidified second base? I guess you could hypothetically say it was Story when he was signed, but we all kind of, looking back on it, had an idea that he probably wasn't going to be the second baseman forever. But before that, it's probably Dustin Pedroia, right? That's probably the last player who's truly and solidifiedly, I don't know if that's a word, a legitimate second baseman for the Red Sox. Over the last couple of years, second base, despite Rafi's trouble, despite Connor Wong's struggle, has been the biggest black hole defensively and offensively for this Red Sox team. The Red Sox said, we got a guy that we think we can fix that problem with. We're going to make sure we're not letting him go again. And that's exactly what they did with this Kristian Campbell thing. So in terms of how it impacts the Red Sox, I think obviously his talent alone hopefully makes his team a lot better, right? I think in terms of what it means going forward over the next few years is you are establishing a base on which to build off of, and that's an absolutely fantastic place to be. And I think it totally transforms the way we are going to look at second base going forward for the Red Sox, and that's something we've been dying for the Red Sox to figure out for the last few seasons. So to see this come to fruition, we know it's been teased for a while now, right? I hinted at it. We'd seen it on Twitter all over the place. It felt like this Kristian Campbell extension was inevitable. I was a little bit worried they were going to shell out a crap ton of money for a guy who's done nothing in Major League Baseball. But in the grand scheme of things, this really isn't anything, right? This is the, in my opinion, perfect deal in a perfect situation for the Red Sox. And honestly, for Kristian Campbell himself, right? It's not like this dude's making $40,000 for the next couple of years. He's making millions. He's going to be a multi-millionaire with the potential of making over $100 million. And he's got to feel really, really good about that, especially as a guy who wasn't ranked, was a compensation pick, right? He went from that in 2 years to $100 millionaire in a couple of days. So absolutely fantastic for him. Absolutely fantastic for the Red Sox. That'll be fantastic for us, right? I think one of the more underrated things about all these contract extensions is we've got so many guys that we get to watch evolve and root for consistently for the next 8 years. It's going to make rooting for this team, I think, a whole lot easier. I also think it's going to bring in a whole lot more fans as people realize the talent the Red Sox have and just get simply attached to that. So I'm over the moon on this contract. I didn't really think I was going to be, but I absolutely am. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of the contract? What do you think about what it means for the Sox? And what do you think it means for Kristian Campbell? Let me know all your thoughts. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just simply helps out a ton. It's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, the best way to do that is to head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Sea Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. I will see you in just a couple of hours at 6:20 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, in the Red Seats.